there.
Hi, Jodie.
Hello, how are you doing?
Fine. How are you? How are you doing? I mean, I know you're working right now, but we're living like crazy times. How is everything with you?
We are. I think feel very lucky and privileged that, just get to be in my house, and I'm just worried about everybody else, actually.
Yeah. Thank you for the interview. Thank you for the movie, The Mauritanian. This is a very interesting movie because it's based on a real story, and it talks in general about like these detainees in the Guantanamo Bay detention center. There are like, I mean, all the abuses that are committed against them and everything. And I know you're not being like involved in like a lot of movies in the last few years. So why did you decide to do this one specifically?
Yeah, I do tend to be pretty picky, and even more picky as the years have gone on about how many films I make and what films I make. The challenge is to find something that I'm interested in, that moves me, and that feels meaningful. And as I've gotten older, that's become more difficult to find something that feels meaningful. And this was just an amazing story, Mohamedou's story, which is really the priority of the movie, to show the portrait of this man who was so unfairly kept prisoner for 15 years for no reason.
Yeah, and I mean, how important is for you that the movie is being released right now because we have a new administration? Guantanamo Bay is still open, so do you think it can help in any way to make certain people aware of what they should do?
Yeah, well, you hope so, right? You hope that the book, The Guantanamo Diary, that Mohamedou wrote, was certainly the thing that was secured his release to be able to leave. I think because people suddenly became aware of what happened, and the court of public opinion flew against the United States government. So movies are even more impactful, and we hope that this will touch people to examine that part of our past. It's been almost 20 years since 9/11. And it's time to look at, what happened at that time in our history, what happened to us, and how do we get there, and what was our part in it, and what parts can we do better?
This is important for everyone who cares, right? I mean, including the Latino community, because this is going to be for an hour in Spanish. I mean, this type of things can happen at any time, even in a democracy. If you're not like, it has to be like people that are like kind of seeing it and then talking about it and probably making movies about it.
Democracies are fragile, and that's why this film is so relevant right now. I mean, we've just gone through such a strange last 4 years. It's a real test to our Constitution and to democratic governments. And will democratic governments survive? It's a real question. And films like this are a real love letter to the rule of law, and to the Constitution, and to the foundations that we think are important.
Can you talk a little bit about like portraying the defense attorney Nancy Hollander? She's a real person. Obviously, you met her and everything. And I know you're an actor, so you don't have to agree with your character all the time. You can play like wherever, whoever. But then in this case, it seems that there's a connection, right? I mean, is that different? I mean, how does it affect an actor when you have to portray somebody who's despicable, or you have to portray somebody who you think it's right?
Well, I think she's amazing. I mean, she really is a real hero of social justice, and she's done so much good. And, she's been on this mission her whole life to defend the rule of law, and she believes that everybody deserves a defense. And so that means that she has defended a lot of guilty people. And as she says, look, if the government has a case, if they prove their case, more power to them. I deliver them, and they'll get a life sentence. But it's important that we understand that everybody deserves a defense. And but that has had a toll on her. I think that's been hard on her. I think it's made her somebody who's quite defended, and who compartmentalizes, and is suspicious. The real Nancy Hollander is much nicer than my Nancy Hollander. The real Nancy Hollander is not rude. She's very polite, and she's very soft-spoken, and she's a strong woman, but she's very fair. I wanted to kind of exaggerate some of her qualities so that you could see her change through her relationship with Mohamedou. So you could see her soften as she cared about him.
That was something that you worked with the director. I mean, just like in terms of how will you like present her on the screen?
Yeah, of course. You work with the director and you say, these are the ideas that I have, and you kind of chart out where the shifts happen, because as you know, when we make films, we don't make them in order. So we can shoot the beginning at the end, and we can shoot the end at the beginning. You shoot them all out of order. So you have to make decisions ahead of time about where the character changes and what they learned and what they know now, but that they didn't know then. So these were all discussions that I had with Kevin.
Are you gonna be doing something soon, like in terms of movies, or like directing or producing, or no? You're taking it like
nothing planned, absolutely nothing planned. I kind of like that. I like to finish one movie and then think about what the next one is.
So how was you have like a virtual meeting recently with like Anthony Hopkins, because of the 30th anniversary of Silence of the Lambs. That is like a completely classic movie. Latinos love it too. So how was that after like so many years? Just
I know, it's been a long time. I haven't seen him for a long time, and it was, he's so good in The Father. The Father is such an extraordinary film for him. Definitely, it's really one of the best performances I've ever seen him give. And the man's over 80 years old. He's just an amazing actor. So I wanted to connect up with him and see him, and can't quite believe that it's been 30 years.
So when you see him portraying this guy, like you mentioned, the father is a character with dementia, and I think you have mentioned in other interviews that it's kind of difficult as an actor gets older, to just get certain roles. Do you see him and you say, man, I mean, I still have plenty of time to do this, or what?
Well, yeah, and The Two Popes, which I loved that movie. I mean, I really loved that movie. For me, that was such an exciting film, and I thought he was so good in the movie, him and Jonathan Pryce. Yeah, I mean, maybe there's 3 roles written for men his age, and he gets to play all of them,
So that's very cool. And what do you think about like people? I mean, it's not what I think, but some people say, oh, these Hollywood like people, they have a lot of money, but they try to convince us, about like social messages and everything. And then a lot of people just say, when you ask something like that, they say, well, we're not trying to change the world. We're just trying probably to start a conversation or being part of a conversation. What do you think of movies like this? I remember that you made like what was it, Elysium, that have some like sci-fi, but it touched like social issues too. So what do you think is the role of movies in terms of that, of just like giving people something about what is going on in the real world?
I think movies are a really powerful way to express, the hope for a moral arc. Art can do that. Paintings can do that. It's a way for us to have discussions. I think that was a very well put. The way you said that is an opportunity for us to have, meaningful conversations and discussions about who we are and who we want to be as a people. And that connects us, this communication tool that brings us together. That being said, I've never made political movies. I'm not a political movie person.
I know.
It's more important to understand the sociopolitics through character, rather than just a strident political movie. And I'm not somebody, I've never been comfortable. I understand that other actors are, and other celebrities are comfortable, a political voice and making that known and being a part of that process. I am not comfortable doing that. So that's something that I've shied away from my whole life. And what I like to say is I'd like, go see my movies, then we can have a discussion about something that I feel like I've researched and that I know about, and that I feel, like I have the right to talk about, but I'm not a political voice.
I know. Thank you very much for what you're doing, and have a good day, rest of the day.
All right, take care.
Take care, Jodie.